Almost 2 years ago, we gave an honest review on the Anker C300X. Back then, we said it was a new and innovative power station from Anker. We praised them for their constant R&D and actually making something new that we hadn't seen before. But now, 2 years later, with so many more comparable power stations on the market, is the Anker C300X worth the buy in 2026? Welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. Since October 4th, 2024, when we first made a video on this power station, this thing has been a favorite here at the lab. It's been used by everyone, it's been beat, dropped, and abused. It's held up pretty good so far, but with other comparable power stations on the market, is it still worth the 200 bucks? Before we get into it, if you don't end up thinking that this power station is for you, you can go take our power station quiz over at thesolarlab.com. It's gonna give you a tailored recommendation based on your needs, and also gonna give you some discount codes to save you some money. We'll also leave links to this unit and any discount codes we can get from Anker in the description. But with all that being said, let's jump right into it. First up, we want to see if the C300X has held up just as well as it did 2 years ago, so we performed a bunch of different tests on it. Starting by looking at the efficiency test on the C300X, back in 2024, we recorded roughly 87% efficiency with a 50-minute runtime. Fast forward almost 2 years later, we got 49 minutes and 49 seconds of runtime, so very comparable. So originally, we charged this thing up in an hour and 8 minutes, 0 to 100%, and almost 2 years later, we actually charged it faster in an hour and 4 minutes. So with our first two tests, if anything, they actually got a little bit better. And when you take a look at our solar charging, that stayed the same. Unfortunately, it's one area that still feels dated. It's 100 watts input, and it's just not the best when you can compare it to other power stations on the market that have a 200 to 300 watt input. It kind of feels like the C300X is falling behind. It was still charged from 0 to full in about 3 hours, but competitors are doing it in about 1 to 2. It's not gonna make or break your purchase, but it is still something to look out for. Oh, and one thing we also want to mention is that it was pretty picky on what panel we were using to actually charge it up. So with the Anker one, funny enough, it wouldn't take a charge right away. We had to fiddle with it a little bit, but with our rich solar panel, it took a charge right away. So this is something we noted originally too, but it's just always been an issue. When we originally tested the surge capacity, it honestly wasn't really impressive and it hasn't really changed much. However, after doing more testing this time around, we actually noticed that the surge depended heavily on what load was present during the time of the surge. So when we had a very low load, say 100 watts, we were able to surge it up to 735, which is actually 135 watts more than it's rated for at 600. So while the surging still isn't amazing, it's not as useless as we thought, but it all depends on the load you're running before the surge happens. And when it comes to pass-through charging, the AC worked perfectly, so you can use it as a UPS system, and also it charges with DC pass-through, so you can charge it with the sun, and you can still run devices off the front, which is a pretty good feature. And finally, our idle test. We actually didn't perform this back in 2024, but we got an 8.2 watt idle draw, which for a unit of this size isn't that good. Bloody has much bigger power stations that have a very similar idle draw, but it's not horrible. Basically what that means for you is we started the idle test at 95% capacity, we ran the test for 24 hours, and after that 24 hours was up, we ended at 27% capacity. If you have a 8.2 watt hour idle draw, you're going to deplete this battery very quickly and you're not going to be able to use it. Say you bring it camping and you leave your AC inverter on, it's going to die a lot quicker than you might expect. Almost everything has aged well on this power station. Even after nearly 2 years of abuse, we haven't had a single issue with this unit. There's no broken ports, there's no battery issues, and no random failures. Everything still works exactly as it did on day one, which is great. And we can't say that about every power station that comes through the lab. And this power station still has a lot of great features. It has obviously the Anker unibrow light that we all love here at the lab. It has a very nice screen, a car socket. It has 3 AC plugs at the front that a lot of units this size don't have. They only have like 1 or 2. It also has 3 USB-Cs up at the front. This one here is bidirectional. That means it can give power and it can take power to charge the battery through this one port. And it sounds stupid, but like literally this one still works. It works perfectly. And we've had a lot of power stations that some ports they fail or it's not as durable as this one. And this one has withheld the test of time. Basically, technology has moved forward, but obviously the C300X hasn't. In this industry, things move very quickly, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but now other brands and competitors are offering more than what the C300X can offer. The biggest thing is the 200 to 300 watt solar inputs. They also have higher AC outputs, they surge better, they have wireless charging, and they have larger batteries, all in a very similar package to this one. And if those things matter to you, there are better options available today. But that's really it. Personally, I still think it's a really good unit. We use it all the time here at the lab. It's one of the power stations that we grab all the time to charge our phones and our laptops because it is such a small and portable little unit. Yes, stuff has moved forward and there is better inputs and outputs, all that jazz. But if for like $200, you want something that's really solid, I'd still go with the C300X. To summarize everything that I said, I still think the C300X is useful for desktop setups, using it as a UPS, charging your laptops and your phones. If your biggest priorities are portability, USB-C charging, and reliability, this thing still absolutely deserves consideration. But if you're looking for the fastest solar charging on the market or more power for your money, competitors may offer better value. Like we said, we will leave links to this Anker C300X and any discount codes we can get you from Anker in the description. Again, if you don't want to get this Anker and you think another power station will be better for you, you can take our power station quiz on thesolarlab.com. It's going to give you a tailored recommendation that's going to fit your needs. But with all that being said, peace out and stay charged.